Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Dr. Jeremy Thornton. Many of you know me, a few of you don't. Just a little bit about me is I am a practicing physician here in the United States in Southwest Missouri. Been in practice now for almost 28 years. That's hard to believe for me anyway. And practice mostly in the area of functional medicine. So I'm a chiropractic physician. I'm a board certified internist, board certified clinical nutritionist. Have been working in the nutritional space for a very, very long time. And I came across this technology back probably the end, was it December, Tanya? Somewhere in there, late November, December. And Tanya shared about these drops with me. So she was telling me about a peptide product that could help you lose weight. And I definitely needed help with that, but I was very skeptical about that claim. Anybody else skeptical when they heard about some kind of drops? Everybody's honest. That's great. That could help you lose weight. And I didn't believe it, honestly. I tried some other quote unquote peptide natural products. I've tried other tons of weight. Anybody tried tons of different weight loss products that were supposedly the magic thing that would work, and sadly nothing ever worked for me. And so, but I said I'd try it because we're friends, and she was excited about it. And I had hope, but I had a lot of skepticism. So I tried these drops over the holidays, right? Perfect time to try weight loss drops. So I did it over Christmas, the New Year, into my next week was my birthday. Needless to say, I wasn't eating great. I got on the scale and it actually lost 2 pounds. Well, first off, that's never happened in my entire life. They're the holidays that I lost weight. That just doesn't happen. Um, and so it got my attention. I'm actually glad that happened. I wouldn't recommend that approach to these drops. Eat like you do over the holidays and lose weight, right? But I got my attention to look a little closer because I may not have if I hadn't noticed anything. So I took a look. I had her send me the science. We looked at the clinical trials. We looked at the ingredients, and I was honestly blown away, and I was excited. So I started just sharing it with some. Got my family on it, right? That's what a good doctor does. They guinea pigs his family first and, and friends to try these drops, and started seeing more benefits and more exciting testimonies. Started using with some patients, and also continued to see some really exciting things. And I just really, honestly, haven't been able to shut up about these drops since, as many of you can will attest to. And so I'm going to pull up my screen here and see if I can share a few slides. Um, all right. Marcy, give me a thumbs up if you can see those, or Rona, can you see my screen top? Can you see my slide? Okay, thumbs up. Thank you. Um, so triGLP, these are the drops right here that we're super excited about. A breakthrough metabolic wellness, one simple supplement to help your body shed fat, restore balance, sustain clean, natural energy all day. Would love to know in the comments if you've noticed the energy. That's one thing. There are going to be several things I'm going to mention today that I wasn't expecting. And energy is definitely one of those things. But type energy in the comments if that's something that you've noticed as trying these drops. So we have three pathways, one ignition. And what's that mean? So we hear a lot about GLP-1, right? That's probably the most popular prescription medication right now in this space for sure, but probably overall. Um, and it was actually designed, I won't say the name, the brand name, but was originally designed for diabetes, right? And as a result of this medication, many would also lose weight. And then suddenly it became a weight loss drug now instead of primarily for blood sugar. But they often call this pathway, first of all, these GLP pathways, they're not a drug. They're not a supplement. They're pathways already in your body. Okay, first off, a lot of people think the GLP-1, oh, that's a drug. No, it's not a drug. It's a pathway we already have. There's things we could do, including injections, and what we're going to share today that can influence these pathways. And that's what we're talking about. So the GLP pathway, oftentimes called the appetite whisperer. So it regulates hunger. It quiets that food noise, where it tells you that you need to go search in the cupboard to see what kind of snacks are in there. It quiets that food noise. It's important for appetite and satiety. It gently slows the stomach emptying speed, making us feel fuller faster. It improves insulin sensitivity in the body. This is one area that I'm super excited about is the changes that I've seen with this technology in improving insulin resistance. And that is a huge deal. As far as chronic health issues, is insulin resistance and blood sugar disorders. And so these drops do influence this pathway. But that's where the most popular drug stops is this pathway. Well, we're going to talk about three pathways because not only do we support the GLP-1 pathway with the triGLP drops, but the GLP-2 pathway, they call it the core shield. I like to call it the gut repair crew. So it supports the gut lining, it improves nutrient absorption, it reduces gut inflammation, it slows the well, it reduces a hormone called zonulin. So, anybody heard of leaky gut? That's a term we hear more and more of. So, leaky gut's a situation where there's wear and tear on the gut from many different things, um, creates tiny spaces between the cells that they call tight junctions, where the intestinal cells come together, kind of like this. It's tight. Stress, inflammation, medications, poor diet, toxins, all the things cause stress and irritation on the gut lining, causes the cells to release a protein called zonulin that tells these cells that they can spread open, right? And now these tight junctions aren't so tight anymore, right? This is where they get the term leaky. So now all this stuff that's in the blood or in the gut leaks through here into the bloodstream, which was never meant to be there, right? And that can create a whole host of problems. And so I'm excited that this pathway is involved in repairing that intestinal lining and creating homeostasis in the gut. Kind of off topic, but my wife has experienced this firsthand. She had uh, very bad gluten sensitivity. Anybody else have gluten sensitivity on the call? Um, she couldn't have gluten at all. I mean, if she did even a trace of gluten, she would swell up, and not teasing, like she was many months pregnant. That's how she looked. It was miserable and bloated and hurt, and that would last for several hours. And one thing she noticed after being on the drops for several weeks is she accidentally got gluten. Of course, it's hard to avoid gluten all the time. She accidentally got gluten, didn't realize it till later, and not because she had symptoms, but because she realized she did not have symptoms. And she was blown away because she's never been able to tolerate gluten, and she has a couple of times since then also tried gluten, and she doesn't feel great, like she's not about to go on a gluten diet, but she doesn't have the side effects, the aggressive symptoms that she used to have. And I know that part of that is due to the gut repair properties of that GLP-2 pathway. The GIP pathway, the metabolic optimizer, um, it also improves insulin sensitivity. It uh, involves processing those nutrient signals to tell the body what to do with that nutrition that's coming in. Do I need to store this away, or do I need to use this food, this fuel for energy, right? And it helps direct more of that food that's coming in, those nutrients that are coming in, towards energy and less away from storage. And that's a huge part of the metabolism and this metabolic effect that this has. It also prevents blood sugar spikes and energy crashes, optimizes insulin sensitivity in the body. And again, I mentioned that earlier. That's one of the things that I'm most excited about is this impact on insulin sensitivity, on insulin resistance, right? Insulin resistance is the condition that develops before somebody eventually moves into the realm of prediabetes and diabetes. So here in America, 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic, 1 in 8 are diabetic. And it's estimated about 70% of people, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, are insulin resistant. But this is something we don't often test. Well, we do, but most doctors don't often test for insulin resistance. And that's sad because this will be a lot easier to take care of before it develops right into full-blown diabetes. So we have those three pathways. There's nothing else natural on the market that impacts these three pathways. And I'm so excited that we can offer that in one simple product. I often get asked, is there 3 bottles? No, there's just one bottle. Anybody get asked that question? Just one bottle, but three pathways. And that's super exciting. Whoops, I went the wrong way. All right. So we have over 3 years of research and clinical studies on this amazing technology. These bioactive salmon peptides is really the star of the show. Showing 6 to 7% BMI reduction in just 6 weeks, 10% body fat decrease with zero muscle loss. That is huge, and something I didn't believe until I've experienced this, because we all have heard, right, the GLP-1 has side effects, right? And one of those side effects is that up to 40% of the weight lost is muscle. 40% of that weight lost is muscle. That is alarming, right? So we hear a lot about this. So people go on the shots. They probably are successful at weight loss if they can tolerate it without the other side effects, right? They lose a bunch of weight. 40% of that's muscle. Then guess what happens? They go off of the shots. They probably did not do the lifestyle changes they should have to support that weight loss. They gain the weight back, right? And sometimes plus. Did they gain that 40% muscle back? No, right? That didn't happen. So guess what? They've gained all that weight back, less the 40% of that weight that was initial weight loss that was muscle, and they're metabolically worse off than they ever were before they started the injections, right? And that's scary. And some of this, they keep repeating this cycle. They'll go back on the shots again, right? Because they gain some of that weight back. Well, guess what? That next weight they lose is probably up to 40% muscle loss again. And you can see that this could rapidly become a health crisis. And we're seeing more and more about that. We're hearing about lawsuits, right? We're hearing about side effects more and more. This is 100% fat targeted weight loss, no muscle loss, no water loss. A lot of things can show weight loss and come to find out they just dropped a lot of water. That's not this. Improved blood glucose control, improved A1C. I've seen improved fasting insulin. That's even probably even more exciting. Sustained energy, no vital or no crashes. Another area that I was probably equally surprised with as the blood sugar and the gut is its reduction in inflammation. I did not expect this to be as strong in that area. But if you look in our testimonial group, and if you're not in our testimonial group, please ask whoever invited you to get you in there, to send you an invite, get in the testimonial group and see some of these testimonies, because a lot of these testimonies have nothing to do with fat loss. And a lot of us came to this conversation because of fat loss. And a lot of these testimonies are sharing how this is impacting them in all kinds of other health areas. And inflammation is a big part of that. Of course, we know inflammation is the root cause of almost every disease or ailment. Improved digestion. I didn't mention this earlier, but not only does it repair the gut lining, but it enhances nutrient absorption. So we're hearing people talk about how much better they feel. Hear people talking about how much better their skin is, their hair is. And I think a lot of that's just due to their absorbing nutrients even better. There's probably also some hormone support and regulation that's part of this as well. I'm sure that's part of it, but I know a lot of it is due to the improved digestion. Why triGLP is different. We talked about the research, no needles, jabs, pokes, patented and patent pending technology, pharmaceutical grade manufacturing standards, direct to consumer, right? We don't have to get a prescription. We don't have to have a doctor's visit. There's no medical gatekeepers. It's direct to you. Effortless appetite control without restricted diets, gut healing, perfect metabolic balance for sustained energy, comprehensive transformation of mind and body in a single drop. This is for you if you want to lose weight naturally with an organic product. If you hate needles, you want affordable GLP support, right? We're talking about a quarter of the cost of these GLP-1 drugs. Suffer from food noise, want to switch from the shots to a natural solution. I have a lot of patients that either due to side effects or maybe they've lost the weight they want to lose. Now they want to do something safer. They still want to support their weight loss results, but they want a more natural approach. And this is a great solution for them. We have some that are on the shots that are adding this into it because maybe they're on a GLP-1 that doesn't support GLP-2 or the GIP pathway. And they can add this along to what they're doing. They want to maintain the weight loss. They want to keep their muscle. Um, they want to make money from their phone. We're not going to cover that today, but there is some amazing opportunities here for any of you that have an entrepreneurial mindset or want to help launch a viral product. And so we won't go into that right now, but I am going to stop my screen share here. Let's see here. No, that's not it. Okay, well, I'm missing a couple of slides. I don't know where. I must have skipped over them. Let me exit the full screen. We'll stop the share. All right, let me look real quick and see if I can see those slides real quick, guys. Bear with me just a second. All right, I must have skipped over those. One thing I did want to mention is that right now, and these are US statistics, but 10% in the US are already on a GLP medication. 30% are looking, they're seeking a GLP option. When you agree that this is probably a better first option for most people, right? Um, there's 5 million internet searches monthly here in the US on GLP alone. This is a very exciting conversation right now. People are interested in all we hear about today is peptides. We hear about GLPs, right? And to be at the forefront of this technology with a natural, safe, organic product is super exciting. And let me see here if I covered everything. I think I did. Did I cover everything, Tanya? She always tells me if I don't. All right, let me look here. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to open it up for questions, but I'm going to wrap this recording up. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate every one of you. God bless.